So here's the lighting system I have on the aquarium. I have the fluval right here, and then I have this light here. Now this light has two bright white LED light bulbs in it that I got from Home Depot, and it's bright light. So they put about 800 lux out per bulb. Now this is the fluval, and the fluval is a 22 watt light. And I was thinking, well, because I closed the shade up for 2 weeks, it wasn't enough light to keep the algae growing that was on the bottom of the tank the way it looked when I used to keep the shade open because I was going on vacation. So I thought, well, what the heck? Maybe I need to think about this. What do? I can't do anything about this light. This light here is only so wide. You can only put certain bulbs in it. They got to be very thin. So you're kind of stuck with whatever is at the hardware store. Okay, but I can take that off. So I was thinking, well, maybe this tank could use 2 of these, right? These fluval. But they're only 22 watts a piece, which means if I bought another one, I'd have 44 watts, and I could put 2 on top of the tank, which means I'd constantly have to remove 2 every time I wanted to get into the tank. I thought, well, I don't know. That's kind of inconvenient too. Plus the fact these fluval lights, they cost $140 a piece for this 22 to 24 inch light here. And I thought, holy cow, that's $140 more. So that's $280 worth of lights over a little 20-gallon aquarium. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no hobbyist going to do that. A hobbyist is not going to spend 200 over, let's see, yeah, 140 and 140, that's $280. No hobbyist is going to spend $280 of lights over a little 20-gallon aquarium. Right? That doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't even make logic that you would buy one of these lights like this for $140 and then say, oh, I don't have enough lights, therefore I have to buy 2 of them to make sure I have enough light to do what I need to do. So I went back on the internet. I'm going to remove this light here. I'm going to remove it because you can't do much with it. And really, it's a good light for the antique tank for show, but you just can't find any light bulbs that will fit it because it's so thin that are strong enough for the aquarium. So, and like I explained to you in one of my videos about lights, this light, let's say it's 2,000 lux. Well, actually, you only have 1,000 per side. You don't have 2,000 lux coming evenly. It's 1,000 on one side and 1,000 on another side. It doesn't put out, every foot doesn't put out 1,000 lux. It's total, let's say 2,000 lux. So therefore, every foot would be 1,000 lux. I explained that in a video how these strip lights work. So then I went on the internet and thought, well, what do? I have this light. It's another $140 to buy another fluval light. Not that I don't like it, it's just that it's just not bright enough to keep the algae at the bottom of the aquarium. You know, the algae here, green and lush like it was. There's a little bit of green over here. And the problem is at this time of the year, I don't get direct sunlight in the aquarium like I do in the winter. It's summer, so the sun hasn't gotten lower where actually sunlight would come into the aquarium. So I thought, well, I got to do something. I want to have the green lush algae, but in order to do it, I have to now replace this, take this off, no problem, but I'm going to have to either buy another one of these or rethink what I'm going to have to do. to make sure that I have enough light for my plants. And this is only a 20 gallon. So I can't see hobbyists out there spending $280 on lights for an aquarium that's only a 20 gallon aquarium. Okay, so now the Asta-120 light, 80 watt light, is all set up. It only took me a few minutes. With this particular aquarium, you can mount it on the glass, or if you have an edge, like that's black edge, it will mount. So mount on any kind of aquarium, whether you have what they call rimless, or if you have one. I mounted it behind because of my stand has where you can mount a piece of wood, so I mounted onto that. Anyhow, this is what you're looking at is 100%. And here it is. That's what it looks like. But this particular one, if you watch my other videos, which there's a link below of the older ones, one thing that people made a comment about is the saltwater one has a remote control, Wi-Fi, everything else. Well, now Asta makes the 120, this one, freshwater, with remote control and hook up to Wi-Fi. I'll get into the Wi-Fi later, but right now I'm getting into what Asta has done. So the color is the same as all their lights. It's 80 watts, so it's a nice bright for your aquarium. And plus, the difference is you have plenty of room here, as you can see, to work on your tank without having to keep taking your lights off. Okay, so as you can see with the tank, I'll lower this. So as you can see with the tank, that you get the shimmer effect on the bottom of the aquarium. Let's see. So I took the two lights off. That didn't take long. And I went and set this up, which didn't take long. Now, it comes with a remote. Let's see if I can get a close-up of the remote, and I'll show you just exactly. Can you see? Yeah, it's maybe a little dark. I don't know if you can see the remote. There's the remote they give you. Okay, so I want to show you how it works. Now, the older Asta lights do not come with a remote. They are basically two things. One is they come with a dimmer switch, okay, but the cord was very short, and that was one complaint that other hobbyists who bought the Asta light that I talked about, that the cord was very, very short. So I said, yeah, it could have stood to be about 2 feet longer. And I guess a guy over in Australia said, yeah, about a meter. Well, that'd be 39 inches. You know, it could have been longer. I said, yeah, I kind of didn't like that part of it, that it was a short cord. However, this new one has more than enough cord. I would say the cord maybe is at least 6 feet, a little longer. Then you connect it up with a plug-in to another cord. So you got probably, I'm going to say 9, 10 feet now, because now this one comes with a power converter like this. Okay, and one end plugs into the light, the other end plugs into your AC, and it's a DC converter. So that's something new with the Asta lights. Now they run off a DC instead of you just plug them directly into the AC current. Okay, so I noticed that the converter runs a little hot. The converter. This one is to the Fluval, but it's basically the same thing. It's a converter just like the Fluval has. Most LED lights have converters, all the ones I've had. So it has that. Then on the cord itself, it has 4 switches. And one switch is your on-off. The other one is mode. And the other one is for the brightness of plus or minus. But in reality, you don't need that. That little switch you really don't need. That's manually to work it because you have this remote control here. And I'm going to show you how the remote, first of all, the thing about it is it has off, on. It has Wi-Fi, but I could not connect it up to Wi-Fi. They have an app. It's easy to download. The app is not rated very high. I think it's rated only 3 stars. I can't get hooked up to it, so I got to find out what's going on. It just won't hook up to the Wi-Fi. So I could not get Wi-Fi. But if you get it hooked up to Wi-Fi, supposedly you can adjust the color of the lamp and put it on a timer when they turn on, when they turn off, just like the Fluval. But it is not working, so I have to email them. They give you something that the emails, I have to tell them it's not working. I've tried installing the app, taking the app out, powering my phone down, but it's just not working. I can see maybe why it got a low rating from the Apple Store when I downloaded the app. But anyway, with the remote's kind of weird because down here you have these bottom 6, I don't know if you can see it too well, but these bottom 6 remote controls. It has 2-hour, 8-hour, 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, and 18 hours. So if you turn this on manually, you can say, I want it on for 8 hours. You press the 8H button. There's an 8H button right here. You press it, and 8 hours from now, it will shut down automatically. It will not turn back on again. So that means every day you will have to manually turn it on, but you can hit how many hours you want it on. And then after 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, you hit that button and it will automatically turn off for you. The next day you will have to turn it back on. But it's better than the old ones because at least they're giving you a choice. Another thing that they're giving you on the remote control is you can hit it to, this is 20% of the light. So this is good, like let's say if you have a small tank, 5-gallon or 10-gallon, and you buy a light like this thinking that in the future I can use this light for, this is a 20-gallon that you're looking at, but they got 20-gallon, 20-gallon highs you can buy, which a light like this would do great for a 20-gallon and 20-gallon high. Okay, so you would only need one light. The tank here is 27 inches and it lights up the full tank. So if you had a 55-gallon tank, you need 2 of them. But if you want a lot of light, then you would buy a 3rd one. Anyhow, this is 40%. Now that's at 40%. This is at 80%. And of course, this is at 100%. So now we have 100% of the light working. They also have plus and minus buttons. So let's say if you want to go minus 10%, you can hit, it's right next to the 100%. If you hit the minus button, it will dim it to 90% of its light output. Each time you hit it, it will lessen. And it will get weaker every time you hit it or if you hit the plus. But that is up to you. Like if you want it 80%, 100%. So I like that feature that you can adjust it with a little remote control, put it on your desk, whatever. Once you adjust it though, let's say you adjust it to 80%, it remembers that. So the next time it turns on, it stays at 80%. It will not change. That is one thing it will do. So if you set it at 80% because your tank isn't as deep or it's a smaller tank. So in reality, I would say I think they make an Asta-120. And to be honest with you, for the little bit more money, 20 bucks or whatever, I would just buy the Asta-120 instead of the 20 because it gives you more flexibility in your light output and also the amount of light it not only puts out, but you know, if you look at the light right now, it looks like a Kessel, doesn't it? One of the Kessel can, not the tuna sun with the green at the bottom, but it's about the same size. So now the lighting has come to the point where they're being more competitive with Kessel. The thing of it is, like I explained to you about the Fluval, that's $140 if I wanted to buy two of these. I bought one of these for $89. Plus, if I can get the Wi-Fi, which I'll try to get the Wi-Fi and I'll do a video on how the Wi-Fi works, but I can't hook it up. I'll contact them, find out what's wrong. But if I can get the Wi-Fi to work, and basically it will work like a Kessel. You can fine tune. It looks like the color and change the color. But the color, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if you can notice. It's very bright. As you can see the shimmer because it is an 80 watt. And two of the Fluvals would only make, what, 40 watt or 44 watt. But you can see the shimmer at the bottom of the aquarium. So it's a very good light. Oh, another thing I want to bring up. If you watch my first video, the fan on this is super, super quiet. Yes, it is running. And you can't even hear it. It is quieter than the old style 120s. So if you were to put this in a bedroom or something, you can't hear it. It's that quiet a fan. Yet it is running right now. And I thought, well, that's great. Whatever they did with the fan is now considerably more quiet than the older Asta-120s, this new one. So that's a plus that they added. So basically it has 48 LEDs in it. Yeah, 48 PCS LEDs. It's a cob. Oh, that's what they call it, a cob. I thought a cob was a solid, more solid, but they call it a cob. And another thing that it mimics with the Kessel lights is it has on this model, and not the cheaper model, it has the lens on it, just like the Kessel has, to spread the light out. It's got a convex lens on it, just like all of them do. So that will spread your light out throughout the aquarium. And this aquarium now it's brighter here in the center, of course, and just a little dimmer on the side, but it's bright front to back. It's completely even, the light is. So it's dispersing the light completely. And I would say from here, let's see if I can't show you that. I would say from here to here in this aquarium is where it's the brightest, and then it just gets a little dimmer, but it's not bad at all because you can still get the shimmer throughout the aquarium like you do a Kessel light. The color, I'm going to try to give you the best I can give you, is like daylight. In other words, it's not blue, It doesn't have a lot of blue in it to promote algae and stuff, but it's more like when the sun comes through in this aquarium, it's mimicking the sun. Because, I'm very familiar because, of course, the sun comes through this aquarium. So it mimics the sun. So if you're on the fence or if you run into a problem like I ran into, oh no, it's time for me to buy another light. I have the Fluvo or the Hager or whatever you just bought, and you realize you just don't have enough light. You may want to rethink of buying a whole nother light like the Fluvo. And I'm using the small Fluvo, $140. And I can buy one of these Asta-120s for less than I could buy the 24-inch Fluvo. And I can't use that Fluvo on any other tank that would be bigger. Let's say a 36-inch tank. It doesn't quite make 36-inch tank. So it won't open up enough to put it on a 36-inch tank. So you're kind of stuck with only using that Fluvo on smaller tanks. Like I said, this tank here is 27 inches by 12 inches deep. So I had to make a decision. I went with this decision. It looks good. Cosmetically doesn't look bad because I had two lights on it. And now I'm able to get into the aquarium still, have lights on so I can see what I'm doing, and I don't have to be pulling the lights off. And that is another thing you have to think about when you get strip lights. You always have to pull them off, then work on your aquarium if you're going to work on them, and then put the strip light back on. That's a big hassle because now you have no light to see in the aquarium of what you're doing. You just took the light off, and unless you have more than one light. But if you're not using a glass top, okay, and it's an open top, you can get right in there, work without ever messing around with your lights, moving them or whatever. So anyhow, I just wanted to update you on the Asta-120. The fan is a lot quieter. It comes now with a remote. You can turn it on, off. You can adjust all the output of the lamp. And it also comes with a timer. So when you turn it on, you tell it how long you want the light on, and it will turn off automatically every day for you. You just have to manually turn it on and tell it what you want. It remembers your preset. So if you're at 100% and you put it, let's say, you tell it to turn off, it will come back on at 100%. The good thing of it is if you don't need 100%, you put it on what you want, just like you would any other expensive light. So this is all new to this particular light, and I thought I would show you the update on this. It's quite easy to set up. It's got a longer cord. That was another complaint someone made. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I know I'm kind of repeating myself on this, but I just want to make sure everybody understands that the cord is considerably longer. It uses a AC to DC power supply now, like this. And it is supposed to connect up to Wi-Fi also. I'll find out more about that. But the app was easy to download. They give you barcodes on the paper here. You can go get the code and scan and download the Magic Home Pro app is what it is. The Magic Pro Home app. But it doesn't seem to come up. So I got to figure that out. Anyhow, this is Dr. Novak. I thought I'd give you an update. Definitely let's hope that this new light will help grow the algae and turn it green again before the accident happened and I went away on vacation. And the other two lights, those two lights could not keep the algae nice and green where it looked like it was grass. It just wasn't bright enough, I guess, because I had to close the back screen when I went on vacation. If I would have kept it open, probably nothing would have happened because the sunlight would have been coming in. Okay, so until next time, this is Dr. Novak. Thank you very much for watching, and happy fish keeping.